Every single guy in the bar that I went to last night turned their head for one of my really good friends. And I mean every guy. This kind of thing has never happened to me, so it was very, very strange to experience. Like, I'm talking about guys with their jaws on the floor, talking about me and my friend walking past. So my boyfriend's best friend and college roommate came to visit with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is one of my really, really good friends. And last night we ended up going to the bars together. And of course we're wearing like really cute outfits. I mean, we were trying to go all out. So her and I went to the bathroom and we came out, and I'm not kidding you, every single guy that was in the area that could see us was turning their heads, staring at us coming out of the bathroom. And this is the craziest part. At one point, we went to a different part of the bar and her boyfriend went to the bathroom. So it was just me, her, and my boyfriend walking through the bar and walking through crowds of people. And this group of guys, everyone's staring, and this group of guys stares, and my boyfriend swears that he heard them say, like, that guy, like, oh my God, how did he, like, get that, like, both those girls, like, blah, blah, blah. And another guy in that group, another guy in that group starts bowing down. Like, what is that? I feel like she gets that a lot when she goes places, but I think I've only gotten that a couple times if I'm wearing like a really cute outfit. But it was honestly unreal. Like, I didn't know people really did that, because I feel like girls, when they see a cute guy, they don't really like, I don't know, I've never really seen any of my friends act like that around a really cute guy. I feel like it doesn't take that much to be a cute guy, maybe, but if you're a really pretty girl, it's like just mind-blowing to them. Just to clarify, it definitely wasn't because of me. My friend is drop dead gorgeous, and I am so jealous because I wish I could even look a little bit like her, because she's so beautiful, and I feel like, yeah, that just doesn't really happen to me. So it was so funny to be walking with her and to see that. I don't know. Yeah, so last night was really fun. Guys are very strange sometimes. They are like, they all have one collective brain cell, it seems like. And I'm very grateful for my boyfriend, because if guys were looking at me like that, if I was single, I think I would probably get a little bit scared, because if I was in the woods, I would definitely choose the bear. Back for the hair video, and I'm gonna style my hunter rain boots from high school, because hunter rain boots are coming back into style. So stay tuned.
I would bet $1 million that if you brought me anyone and said that you need to make them unrecognizable in 30 days, I would do it in 29. I am a firm believer that you can reinvent yourself any which way your little heart desires. You just have to listen to me, like a fairy godmother. If I only had 30 days, this is exactly what I would tell you to do. The first thing I would do is get out a giant sheet of paper and just start brain dumping. If you could be the absolute best version of yourself, if you were someone that you were just obsessed with, you thought you were the coolest person on this planet, what would you wear? Who would you be dating? Who would you be hanging out with? What would you be doing on the weekends? What would you be eating? What time would you be getting up in the morning? How would you walk into rooms? Like really, really specific things, from your physical appearance to your personality to your social life. Because if you can't answer really simple questions about yourself, like what's your greatest strength? What's your greatest weakness? If you were a color, what color would you be? You have to build a foundation for your character. Otherwise, you kind of end up just passing through life. Once you have this all on a sheet of paper and you're feeling inspired and like excited, I would get on Pinterest and I would mood board this entire thing. And it really doesn't matter what's on it. It just matters that when you look at it, you're like, this is someone that I think is really cool. And then moving forward, everything that you do from here on out has to be with the intention of doing it in the way that this version version of yourself would do it. And I would just take a handful of those things off that list every single day and look at your mood board every single day. So every single day you're inspired. And I do believe that if you did this for 30 days consistently, you would be a completely different person. My appearance, my style, my photos, my life changed so drastically the second I started mood boarding my entire existence. I truly have this down to a science. I mean, honestly, if I could teach a class, I would. Make them for every single one of my friends. If there's ever a special event coming up, even if it's something simple like I want to do something different with my hair or I want to make a lifestyle change, I make a vision board for it. I'm going to show you how I use Pinterest to kind of organize all of this and lay it out in a way that is fun. The first thing to do, I think, is to make a list of all the things that you feel like really resonate with you. If you were a color, what color would you be? If you were an animal, what animal would you be? Do you have a favorite food? Do you have different hobbies? Do you love the city you live in? It could be like the color green, working out, cats, shopping, dirty martini, brunette, skincare. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy stuff. I've done this for friends who literally the only personality trait is Diet Coke. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a super intricate, laborious thing. You're gonna head on over to Pinterest and search one of those words that you've written down and add the word aesthetic after it. This is so funny, but it really does make the biggest difference on Pinterest for some reason. Every time you add aesthetic, the photos are 10 times better. So if you have green as your color, look up green aesthetic and start pulling some photos that you like, add them to your mood board, you know, and then just start going with a couple of those. If you like cats, cat aesthetic. If you like shopping, go with shopping aesthetic. Once you've picked a couple of photos and added them, Pinterest does a really good job of populating photos that are kind of in the same vein as what you're picking. It has a really good algorithm. And I think just make a general one that you feel like is really you, that you feel like feels like you. And then I do seasonal mood boards like for my style. So I have like Bella Summer, Bella Spring 2024, and then I add like all of the different outfits, outfit inspo that I like. I know this seems so intense, but I love it and it works. I hope this was helpful and good luck.
Welcome to day 4 of Changing What My Life Looks Like, a series where I do something each day to bring myself joy and break old habits. Today I was really feeling the need to get creative and work with my hands. My personal take is that if you ever need to get out of your head, do something with your hands. At least for me, focusing on an artsy craft almost becomes a form of meditation. It's also a bonus if you have ADHD, because if you're in a hyper-focused mood, there's no better way to use your energy than to make something cute you'll get to have around your home. I was recently at a store and I saw this yin and yang incense holder and went to buy it, and it was $25. So I put it down and had the thought that I could easily make one and many other things for less than $10 if I buy a big container of air dry clay. So that's exactly what I did. I also saw someone else make a little jewelry tray that inspired me, so I figured I'd make one for myself as well. What I've learned over the years is that I love being creative, but sometimes I hold myself back from doing crafts because I don't think they'll always turn out the way that I desire. But that's the reality of hobbies and crafts in general. The point isn't for it to be perfect or to sell it or impress people. I'm not a professional when it comes to any arts or crafts. The point is to just do it and have fun. You don't have to be good at things to enjoy them. It's a fun way to spend my time when I don't have plans with friends or don't want to scroll on my phone, and the way you get better at things is by doing them more anyway. I'm sure I'll learn a lot about working with air dry clay the more I mess around with it and watch videos, and it'll be fun to see my progress. I know neither of these pieces are perfect, but I made them with my own 2 hands and I kind of love the little imperfections. Now I see and use them daily, and that brings me a little bit of joy every day. I think they add to my decor perfectly, and now I just want to make a bunch of other things to put all around my house. And I will definitely be making more things to give to my friends.
Okay, but like if astrology isn't real, then why does everybody's life start opening up for them the second that they develop a relationship with their ruling planet? Everybody has a planet that rules over their entire chart. It's called the chart ruler, and it is essentially the planet that corresponds or rules over your rising sign or your ascendant. Whichever planet rules over your rising sign is the one archetypal planetary energy that you need to prioritize above all else. Like if your natal chart describes your entire life, the planet that rules over your ascendant is essentially like the bus driver. They're the one behind the steering wheel guiding you through your entire life experience. In order for you to best have some say in where that ship is going and in what route you take, you need to be in constant communication with the driver. The greatest gift that astrology can give us is power over our lives and our own cosmic makeup. But it doesn't just stop at learning your planetary placements. The intention is and has always been that you will form a relationship, a conscious devotional relationship with the archetypes that are most important to you in your life. So just start by having a conversation. Imagine like you're calling your friend up on the phone, just being like, hey girl, what's up? Let's talk. Read about this archetype and sit in meditation thinking about this planet, how it has appeared in your life. Consciously state that you are looking to form a relationship with this energy. Ask for some signs to let you know that they're there with you. You can send out offerings, prayers, whatever you feel called to do. But above all else, make sure that this relationship is balanced. It cannot just be take, 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 take. You must be willing to give back in the form of your gratitude, your love, and spreading the teachings and awareness that this planet has to offer. Just saying.
Honestly, if a man leaves you because he thinks he can do better, my advice would be to go let him find better. So you are free to be more than just better, but to be the best version of yourself. Because hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And honestly, I've never met a woman who didn't get into the best shape of her life, or hike Machu Picchu, or finally get that promotion, or eat the best freaking pasta in Italy after getting dumped by a Chad. Because sometimes the comfort of being with the wrong man stops you from finding out that your comfort zone wasn't actually a home, it was a prison. Rest in not peace to the days when I thought that Chad leaving me meant that I wasn't good enough for what I wanted, because getting dumped by Chad taught me that what I wanted was actually not good enough for me, that there was a better version of Anna out there that could not exist with Chad in my life, and that sometimes we're not meant to fit into some people's lives or the popular crowd, because we're not meant to fit in with people who hinder us instead of further us. Sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you is not the man leaving, it's the man who refuses to leave. Biddies, you cannot stay a caterpillar if you want to transform into a butterfly. So I beg your freaking pardon, but I gotta ask you to leave your Chad cocoon, because sometimes losing one battle means you get to win the war of your life.
I will never forget the day that I realized that sinking funds work. I was brand new to zero-based budgeting, and I read that you were supposed to have sinking funds. And so I created one when I got started for a car seat. I knew that my kids were getting older, and I knew we would need to be buying like the next size up in car seats, and they're pretty expensive. And so I was like, I'm gonna set aside like $10 or $20 every month toward a car seat so that when the time comes, we'll have the money, or so they say. Honestly, I almost forgot about this line item. Like, I wasn't really thinking much of it. And then suddenly the day showed up where I realized we need to buy a car seat. I can't even begin to explain like the awe and just the amazement when I realized that I already had the money sitting there. Like, I had, I don't know, something like $200 or $250 sitting there to buy a car seat that previously it would have gone on the credit card. It would have maybe been charged to my debit card, but then I realized I didn't have enough money for groceries that month and then put groceries on the credit card. Like, I never budgeted correctly until I learned to use a zero-based budget and sinking funds. And suddenly, things that I was going to need in the future, like, I had the money to buy them outright the day I needed to buy them. This had never, ever, ever happened for me. And it was such a life-changing experience. And now it happens all the time with technology or with the holiday fund or the auto insurance, all kinds of things, right? And so now I just go and buy Christmas gifts with the money that's sitting there because I put money aside every single month. Whereas in the past, it was like, oh no, it's November and we need some money for the holidays. Guess we're charging that to the credit card. So if you haven't set up sinking funds yet in your budget, it's time to get started. If it's $5, if it's $10, if it's $50, whatever you've got, go ahead and create the line item and put $1 in it. Even if it sits there and you can't add to it every single month, the idea that it's there and it's reminding you that it's one of your goals, that makes a huge difference. All right, if you've got questions, drop them in the comments below.
Is anyone else like too aware? Like, I'm too aware that this is all temporary, this is all part of the human experience, and that nothing matters, and that everything is subconscious programming and everything is made up. Like the days of the week, that's made up. Monday, someone decided this day is called Monday, this day is called Tuesday. It's all made up. Like, humans made everything up. Like money, it's just made up. It doesn't mean anything. Like, there are so many different things like road signs, the street names, like somebody just decided this street is named that name. Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's really hard for me to live my life and just be a normal person because I'm just too aware. I'm always seeing things from a background perspective. Like, I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing through the programming, seeing through the matrix. Does anyone else know what I'm saying, or am I just crazy? Please help me out.
And this is where the magic happens. Welcome to part 1 of the Future You series, where you're about to define exactly who you're about to start building, exactly who Future You is. And once you've done that, you're going to start acting and thinking exactly like this person. I call this living life and looking at life through a Future You filter. So who is Future You? How do they start and end every single day? What is their mindset like? What job do they have? How do they dress even? You need to get crystal clear on exactly who this person is, and then you need to start acting accordingly. But we'll get into that in part 2 and 3. And if you're still not entirely sure who Future You exactly is, you need to listen to this podcast episode. So that's step 1.
The older I get, the more that I realize that it is entirely possible to live in misery forever. That some people don't get the life they want or the partner they deserve, not because of some preordained fate, but because they would rather settle for the comfort of the story they've always told themselves than the discomfort of finding a new partner, a new story, a new chapter, and a new life. 6 years ago, my ex-boyfriend dumped me to find somebody who was, in his own words, a better fit for him. And when he couldn't find that person, he came back to me. And I decided to choose the uncertainty of not going back to a man who once left me, so that I could find a man who did not need to leave me to love me. So often we mistake familiarity for our fate, and what I didn't realize was that everything good in my life would come from my ability to leave everything I once knew. Because there is no change if we do not make the change ourselves. That William Ernest Henley was right, and I am truly the master of my fate and the captain of my soul. And I chose not to steer my ship back to the port it came from, but instead towards the port I wanted to go to. Biddies, if you are watching this, let it be a sign from the algorithmic gods that you have come to the proverbial crossroads of your life. And what you do today can really be the difference between living a life of magic and living a life of misery. And just to really hammer the point home, do you want your epithet on your tombstone to one day read, "I settled for a Chad because I didn't think I could do better"? This is your reminder that even if your ship is sinking, you do not have to go down with it. So for the love of all that is good and not Chad, I hope you have the courage to jump off and swim yourself to shore.
This is your foolproof formula to get it all done in a week. We all have 168 hours. You can take this as a case study and apply it to your own life based on your priorities and your buckets currently. Work and life don't stop because you have a big event happening behind the scenes, such as moving. Personally, I am currently in the middle of a move, splitting up stuff, and I still have to balance all the roles that I was previously doing. Let's say we had 56 hours of sleep, 60 hours of work. I'm currently balancing 5 different roles, 14 for exercise, because mind and body, even though a move is one of the most stressful things you'll ever do, you still need to pour into your own cup, which leaves us with 35 hours. 30 hours for moving, 5 hours for the transition. Obviously being graceful with yourself and giving yourself that time to process and move, which is why we have the 3 hours for journal. Hopefully you can take this as an example. You can make time and make space for things that really matter and still do all of the other things in the background.
I'm going to tell you a little secret on how to get everything that you want. You want the car, the relationship, you want the business, the self-worth. You have to adopt the I'll go first mindset. It's when you stop waiting for everyone and everything around you to come to you because you're still scared. It's when you step into the role of the initiator as opposed to sitting back and waiting for everything to come to you. It's not needing somebody else to go first before you're willing to step up to the plate. It's when you reach out first. It's when you're the first one to be vulnerable in a family who don't. It's when you choose to be an entrepreneur when you come from a traditional family. It's when you're willing to tell the person that you love them first. If I didn't go on this personal development journey, I wouldn't be the woman that I am. If I didn't leave my hometown, I wouldn't have become a coach. Only when you live your life from this place of I will go first is when you get to have all of the things that actually make you excited to get up in the morning.
Think of the thing that you want the most in the entire world right now. Now riddle me this. If you found out that this was going to be yours by the end of this year, very, very soon, would you be ready for it? And by ready for it, I mean, do you have all your ducks in a row for it? If you would need to get your teeth whitened for it because it is a TV appearance, have you done that? If you would want to be in the very best shape of your life, have you gotten started on that? If you would want to practice more for it, would you have done that? Is that part of your routine right now? Would you want to fill in the blank, get certain things organized, get other things taken care of? Would all your ducks be in a row for this thing? Are you actually preparing for the life you want and the opportunity that you want? Are you actually? Right now, you are literally in training for the person that you want to become. Every single choice you make is a vote for the person that you want to become. So imagine right now, from here on out, the thing you want is coming, and it's time for you to actually completely get ready for it.
People that are more successful than you aren't more talented, they've just worked harder. If he's not texting you, it's because he doesn't want to text you. Choosing to make yourself happy versus choosing to make yourself miserable both take the same amount of work. Don't ever shrink yourself to fit into a box that you've outgrown. You will never find anyone in life that's absolutely perfect. Everyone in your life is going to make mistakes, big ones. Your personality is not real. You can change yourself whenever and however you want to. If you want to heal a wound, stop touching it. The fact that you're pretty is the least interesting thing about you. Never be the last one to leave a party. Don't go to every single social event. The grass is always going to be greener where you water it. Learn how to be your most confident self without needing validation from other people. Every single person you meet knows something that you don't. You will start coming off a lot smarter when you can start admitting that you don't know everything. Learn something new every day. If you don't have anything interesting to talk about, you're not a very interesting person. One of the worst pieces of advice is fake it till you make it. There's a huge difference between real confidence and fake confidence, and people can see the difference. If someone doesn't like you, remember that not everyone has good taste, and that's okay. Success is the worst teacher. Rejection and failure is the best motivator. Travel and travel and travel and travel and travel. The happier, more beautiful, or more successful you become, the more people are going to find you threatening. Good luck.
Have you heard of the October theory? Because I just looked it up and it is so real. I've been seeing so many people talk about this and I had to look it up because I was like, what is the October theory? Essentially, your life changes every October so dramatically, and I'm going to tell you how you can see if this actually happens for you. October is like a mini January, it's a mini New Year's. So what you do is you go to your phone and your camera pictures. Go to your pictures in your iPhone and just type in October and then scroll through the last 5 years and just notice from each October how different things are. For me, they're different from the beginning of October to the end. And then for each year where I'm wow, I grew so much each entire year after that. And I actually went back 10 years and it's no joke. So I would say try this and then also let me know. I always thought September was the fresh school year, fresh start of the year, back to school. No, it's actually October.
Today I want to talk about the perks of dating a pretty girl. The confidence it brings to the guy when dating a pretty girl is disgustingly, insanely high. I feel so confident when I'm out with a pretty girl sitting next to me, or when we go on a date, or when we go to a restaurant and I'm with the baddest girl in the restaurant. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows that I'm with this badass girl. Makeup done, hair done, her outfit, her smell, I'm super confident that I'm ready to run into anyone. The president, I'm ready to run into a basketball team. I'm ready to run into LeBron James. Because take a look who I'm with. I'm good. I'm already confident, humbly speaking, I'm good. I know how to dress. I have good cologne on. I'm chilling. I don't really look too much into myself. But when you run into me, you're running into her. You ran into us. And she's bad. That means we're bad.
You know what is a fucking superpower that not enough people talk about on here? The ability to follow your plan and not your mood. That shit, it's one of those things that's such a paradox because it's so simple in theory. Yeah, of course, if I have a big goal, if I want to lose 50 pounds, build muscle, I want to build a business, I have to do things that put me towards that just about every day, whether I feel like it or not. Simple concept. Work every day towards something, you'll get closer, right? But then you get to that point where you really don't feel like doing it, and you realize, one, your brain is not your friend, and two, this is way fucking harder in application than it is in theory. That's why I always say it isn't easy, but it is simple. These things are not easy to do, but they are simple to understand in theory. But the fact of the matter is, if you can just work towards things every day, regardless of your emotional state, you don't rely on motivation, you don't rely on being happy, you just do the thing and take the emotion out of it, whatever it is, ultimately the world is your fucking oyster. Like, the last few days have been rough, and the last thing I've wanted to do is make content, podcast, and definitely haven't wanted to train, and I've done all fucking 3 of them. And here's the beautiful thing. I know now that even though it's probably not the best progress that I could have made towards the goal, it's some. 1% rule. I probably had 20% to give every day this week, but I gave it. So that day it's 100%. And I get the me on the other side of the thing. The feeling of having done the thing you were supposed to do when you really didn't want to do it is the most incredible dopamine hit you can experience. So today is Saturday. You have the opportunity to fuck off, maybe skip what you had planned that was going to move you forward towards your goals. I urge you, no, I implore you to just do it anyway and then earn your leisure afterward. And I promise you're going to feel so fucking proud of yourself. It isn't easy, but it is simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
Your life will change the second that you realize money is attracted to strong stories and strong whys and not attracted to loose probabilities and maybes. The reason most people don't reach financial freedom is they don't have a why strong enough to compel any how. And then the second reason is they don't actually speak the language of money. And so how can you expect to become fluent, aka have money all around you, have massive abundance of money, if you don't actually even speak the language at all?
So I have a lot of friends, and some of them are rich and some of them are dirt poor, like the scum at the bottom of my shoe. And I realized that broke people and rich people talk about different things at dinner, so I thought I'd get into it. So my broke friends, who definitely love when I call them my broke friends, they talk about celebrities a lot because I guess that's what their one brain cell can comprehend. And my rich friends, they love to talk about like goals and stuff, probably because they're fucking smart and rich for a reason. Unlike my stupid ass broke ass friends who I fucking hate.